Hey, welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to be discussing the difference between the three main styles of tango that you will see danced at the milonga regularly. We are joined once again today by Eve, who will help me demonstrate. The one that we're going to be focusing first is Milonguero style. So Milonguero style, at this point, the way it's defined, it just means that you'll be in close embrace. And a true milonguero style would mean that you are dancing in close embrace the whole time. So I'm not going to be opening my embrace and going into open embrace, which means that a lot of the vocabulary is going to be off limits to me. Things like back staccatas or anything that requires over rotation for the follower. Okay. Now, if I separate a little bit and go a little bit more vertical, so anything from kind of a bit more vertical position here and into more of an open embrace position, this is what you might call a salon style. So salon style, the way I see it danced on the social dance floor, typically means you might start out in close embrace, but then at some point when you want to do some other things that require more movement, you will separate and do things in a more open embrace. The salon style embrace also has a bit more verticality and attention to the posture. With close embrace in milonguero style, a lot of times you'll see people are a bit more kind of huddled together. So old style milongueros might even have a bit of this kind of posture where it's really curled in. This is going to be more of a traditional way of embracing. But once you start thinking about salon style, it's a little bit more vertical. And then the embrace itself will shift from close to open because as you want to do things that are a little bit more outside the scope of the close embrace, then you need that space of the open embrace. Now, the third style that we'll talk about is Nuevo style. And Nuevo style, again, is going to be even more open than Salon style. So with Nuevo style, what you'll see a lot is we begin to break the shape of the embrace. So the follower is now not facing me as much anymore. And we can do things that are a little bit more experimental that would not be available to do in something like close embrace. Nuevo style also typically is what you dance to alternative music that's not tango. So anytime that you want to be a bit more experimental and make your movement bigger, then Nuevo style is going to be your ticket to that. Now, this is all a spectrum, and I think the terminology that we use for the embrace can shift a little bit. Maybe for some of you, the definitions are slightly different, but ultimately what we're dealing with is the proximity of the embrace. We start with an embrace that's really, really close, and we go to an embrace that's very open and even breaks at certain points so that we can do experimental movements that are just not possible when you're connected in a close embrace. So that spectrum of moving from close to open embrace is something that you can play with in your own dance, whether you consider yourself milonguero style, salon style. It doesn't really matter unless you make it matter to yourself. But what I want to talk about is how do you actually move from close embrace to open embrace while you're dancing? Because certain songs will make you want to express certain movements, and if you're dancing in a close embrace and you want to do something more experimental, you want to be able to fluidly open up the embrace and then go back into close embrace when you need it. So let's say that you're starting in close embrace, and the way I typically begin to think about opening is find places where you can pause with the follower, like something, a parada, where you catch their foot, and let's say you're about to do the sandwich. But at this moment, this is the moment where I can let my partner go. It's a very easy place for them to read that moment. And then now I'm dancing in open embrace. Now, if I think about how exactly do I communicate to my partner that I want them to go away, you can think about your close side of the embrace. So for leaders, the right arm. If you just have this intention of letting them go at the moment that you are doing the parada. So for example, when I'm here, in the moment here, I just let her go. And that creates the space for her to understand that we're now going to separate. So for followers, when you feel that the leader is sort of letting you go, what you can do is from the closed position, just allow the arm to slide. And you will actually feel where the arm needs to stop. Because sometimes I will slide this much and I just want her to remain here. Sometimes I'll go all the way here. And this is something that I can communicate in the moment. Okay? So doing the parada, let's say I do it on this side here. I let her go. And then we're now in open embrace. So you can try it on both sides. Now, let me show you some other places that I tend to do this on that's more in action. Okay? One place is when you're sending your partner around in a turn. So for example, when I'm inviting her to go around me into beginnings of molinete, so right here I invite her to begin to step forward. And do you see she's already adapting the embrace? And now I can just allow her to keep sliding the embrace until we are in open embrace. And if I did it without stopping, it will feel even more intuitive. So and here, now we're in open embrace. So that's another way that you can think about that as you're sending the follower around you on that initial curve, you just let them out through the closed side of the embrace. So whenever you do a turn, especially going to my left, so my follower, I'm sending them to my left. As I send them, I can let them go here, and she will feel that release. And it's not anything dramatic that you're doing with your arms. It's more of like this feeling of letting go. It's just about allowing the follower to distance themselves from you. So you're just sending them out very gently as you're turning. Now, once you are in the open embrace and you're dancing in open embrace, and you decide that you want to go back into close embrace, one position that it's very easy to do this in, you can once again use the position when she's going in front of you. So I sent her to go in front of me to take a forward step. And while she's taking that, I just slide my arm into close embrace position as she steps. So I'll show it once again from open position here. I invite the follower to go forward in front of me. And while she's taking that step, I allow the arm to wrap around her. And now we're in close embrace. So I'll demonstrate once again, both going from close embrace into open. So if I'm in close embrace and I'm walking, I can use this initial point to send her out. And now we're in open embrace. And when I'm ready to come back in, let's say this is kind of a nice place here, from going into ocho cortado, but instead I have her go forward and I hug her into close embrace. So this is just a couple of ways that you can shift from one position to the other. You can use that forward step of the follower. You can use the parada. Keep thinking about just the release, that gentle letting go of the tone in the close side of the embrace to communicate. And I'm going to go ahead and show you a little clip of me dancing and switching from one kind of embrace to another. And you clock which moments I'm using to change from one to the other, because you'll see that there's multiple ways you can find the technique for it. It's actually much more intuitive than it is conceptual. So it's just a matter of feeling where it's appropriate to let them go and then bring them back in.
Prendida en mi existencia como abrojo, te burlas de mis sueños y mi amor, clavada como un garfio entre mi carne, palpitas noche y día siempre estás. En vano es que pretenda revelarme, la seda de tu carne puede más. Inútil, cada vez te quiero más, te llamo y jamás te he de olvidar. Como sangre de mi sangre yo te siento que aquí estás y tu ausencia me lastima como hoja de un puñal. Tus ojos en mis ojos siempre están, yo siento.
If this is your first time joining my channel, I hope you subscribe. I release one of these every week on Saturdays, and I hope I see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. Ciao.